today 11th debate competition 2023. We have decided this topic, teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. At first, I would like to humbly request our guests, Mr. Muhammad Mizanur Rahman, Assistant Teacher, Kumilla Jala School. Please come and take your seat. I would like to humbly request to Mr. Muhammad Harun, Associate Professor in English, Kumilla University. Mr. Muhammad Johirul Islam Ripan, Head of the Department English, Dr. Khandakar Musharraf Hussain College. Now this is the time for our debaters. Please come and take your seat. Before starting this competition, it is notable to see the rules of this competition. First of all, attention, 15 marks. For pronunciation, you will be given 5 marks. Body language, 5. Information, 5. And for the leader, rebuttal, 10 marks. Every debater will be given 5 marks. Within 4 minutes, you will be given alarming sign, and 50 minutes, it will be rung the final sign. At first, I would like to introduce the position team. The first debater is Nusaiba Islam, Sumaya Akhtar, Hanan Afroza Kabir, and the team leader of the position, MD Tausif Karim, the opposition team of this topic. First debater is Aisha Akhtar, Muhammad Omar, Sadia Akhtar Sneha, Fatiha Akhtar, and the team leader of the opposition, Afrin Jui. Sir, you are humbly requested to conduct this program.
Thank you very much. We will start our competition. Now, I'd like to request Nusaiba Islam from position team to come up with her speech. Thank you.
All three can change a country or nation. They are father, mother, and teacher, stated by the missile man of India, APJ Abdul Kalam. However, here present honorable moderator, respected judges, my opponent, dear listeners, and all of my listeners. First of all, take my greeting. Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic that we are debating on, teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. I am Nusaiba Islam, standing for the motion, and I am starting my speech. First of all, I will clarify the key points of today's motion, which are what is education, what is quality education, what is teachers' negligence, and finally, what is obstacle. Number 1, education. According to Socrates, education means the bringing out of ideas of universal validity which are latent in the mind of every man. Number 2, quality education. Quality education is defined as one that focuses on the learner to prepare them for life, not just for assessments. Number 3, teacher. Teacher isn't someone who teaches something, but someone who inspires the students to give his or her best in order to discover what he or she already knows. Number 4, teacher's negligence. When the teachers become indifferent to the students in a class, then it is called teacher's negligence. Number 5, obstacle. Obstacle means something that stands in the way of progress, achievement, and development. Nowadays, we hear from a teacher that private. Teachers want to be financially benefited without being a teacher of the students. When the teacher students as batch, the negligence is observed there as well. And for the negligence, when the teachers become failed to teach something for the upcoming exam of the students, they provide them subjective exam question papers. memorizing the questions answers and nominating into the question paper. Is it quality education? Is it my opponent? Hope you'll give me a logical answer. And after that, the guardian cannot bring any complaint against him. Instead, they send more students to him. This is called killing two birds with one stone. So the students get A plus in the school exam but get fail in the board exam. But if the students do not go to private, sometimes they torture the students. As a result, students are compelled to go to private. Honorable Moderator, now I am giving a flash example with picture. On 25th August 2022, a 9th grader of Holy Ghost Girls School and College reportedly committed suicide by jumping from the top of 10-story building. The investigator found that the girl named Papita was frustrated by her teacher, who intentionally and deliberately didn't care about the pass marks in the examination for not going to private. Is it the duty of a teacher to force one to go to private? Is it my opponent? We want answer. This is just an example. Not only she, but also about 361 students committed suicide last 10 months in this year for this reason. And this is the evidence. Now I to give an example of importance of teachers in quality education. Honorable Moderator, the Philippines passed a new and amazing law where it is said that a student must pass his primary school and college by showing proof of planting 10 trees each. As a result, 175 million new trees will be planted a year. If 30 are planted in a phase, 525 million new trees will be planted in generation. We also desire this kind of teachers who can inspire the students. But in our country, our teachers don't encourage the students, rather they neglect them. When our teacher says, nothing is possible for you, you can this, that, those, it is called teachers' negligence. Can you guess the result of this that is enough to destroy nation? Can you, my opponent? Honorable Moderator, another great problem of our country is unemployment. Unemployment refers to a situation where a person actively searches for work, but it is unable to find work. According to BBS 29 March 2023, unemployment is the highest among the highly educated, about 12%, where in 2022 the percentage is 4.70%, and in 2023 the percentage is 5.0%. The rate is more in highly educated than uneducated because uneducated persons are learning from their parents to work, but the educated learn from their teachers, while the teachers only teach them bookish knowledge. That's why they remain unemployment. Do you know why this occurs? This occurs because of the negligence of teachers. Honorable Moderator, due to the source of unemployment, the tendency of suicide among Dhaka University has increased at an alarming rate. Until November of this year, 8 students committed suicide after losing battle for life. Among them, 3 students attempted suicide and at the first week of this month. And the student committed suicide in failed. In desperation, he committed suicide by jumping from the roof of an under construction building on Hazaribagh of the capital February 14 this year. And for the negligence of the teachers, students are becoming unskilled. That's why the certificates do not have any values in job market. As a result, some of the students are burning the certificates publicly and some are washing the certificates and drinking it. This is a real situation of our country's teacher and education. At the end of my discussion, I can strongly say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nusaiba Islam, for presenting the motion in an excellent way. Now, I would like to request Aisha Akhtar from opposition group to come up with her speech.
Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think, stated by Albert Einstein. However, here present on moderator, judges, respectable teachers, dear listeners, opponents, and all of my well-wishers. At first, take my salam, assalamu alaikum. Today, our debating topic is teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. But I totally oppose this topic because teachers' negligence is not the main obstacle to quality education. I am Aisha, the first debater from opposition team. In this regard, me and my team will stand strong evidences and correct informations. For quality education, we need better curriculum. That's why I also want to clarify what is education curriculum. Education curriculum is the expectations for what will be taught and what students will do in a program of study. Dear opponent, you blame the teachers' negligence as the main reason for what our Bangladesh is not able to receive quality education. The fact is that you see a little cobras flying in front of you, while while the elephant is moving behind you, but you have no idea. Of course, teacher's negligence is an obstacle, but not the main obstacle. It is a little bit of trouble because the teacher can't always neglect in class. No man can't be neglect all the time. On Rita, the classroom of schools and college always remain overcrowded. In this position, it's nearly impossible for a teacher to provide quality education for the students. There will be noise, disturbance for the teachers to educate their students. Moreover, you are lacking of microphones in government schools and colleges for which the backbencher never get proper education. My dear opponent, in such situation, teacher negligence can never be an obstacle to quality education. On Rita, in 2023, a new curriculum has introduced. The new curriculum is not clear among the teachers. The teachers cannot be adjusted with the new curriculum. The teachers is not available to themselves. The teachers, the 6 and 7 standard assessment are not conducted in the traditional way. On Rita, in this situation, dear opponent, how can you tell teachers negligence an obstacle why the teachers cannot be added themselves to the new curriculum? Dear opponent, the teachers, one teacher standard class worldwide requires one teacher for every 25 students in primary education, one teacher for every 20 students in secondary education, one teacher for every 30 students in higher education, while our Bangladesh has one teacher for every 58 students in primary education, one teacher for every 40 students in secondary education, one teacher for every 30 students in higher education. This is the education status of an institution. Dear opponent, the question is to that, if there are 50 students in class, how will the teacher provide quality education? Who will give a logical answer? Amarita, my opponent first debater asked me a question that memorizing the question answers and numerating in the exam, is it quality education? My opponent, you are talking about memorizing. That means theoretical learning. Is theoretical or practical based learning in the hand of teachers? Is it? No, it is in the hand of education system. I mean, they're planning. So, indirectly, you are supporting us. And for this reason, thank you. Dear opponent, kind of ratio teacher-student of Bangladesh is 54:1. I repeat, 54:1. How is it possible? Almost all urban areas of Bangladesh, extra students are seen in each class. It is also seen that the classroom are so big that the teacher lecture doesn't reach the end of the classroom. It is also seen that there are 100 students in each class. Let me show the teacher student ratio of some countries of the world. USA 16:1. Canada 17:1, Australia 13:1, UK secondary level 16:1, primary level 23:1, Finland 9:1, France 19:1, German 13:1 by 12:31, highest Rwanda 59.1:1, Lord San Marino 6.93:1, in Bangladesh average 47.77:1, minimum 30.05:1, lowest 22.20:1, 2018, secondary 35.10, 2018, lowest 22.34 in secondary, highest value of the part 45 years, 38.43 in 1979, lowest 22.34 in 1979. Report collected from World Bank data. On Marita, Joy Horse Private Government High School at Kanda in Nathakuna. There are 709 students are taught by only 8 teachers. That means that 9 students taught by only 1 teacher. This news was published on 6 November 2023 as titled শিক্ষক স্বল্পতার কারণে কঠিন চ্যালেঞ্জের মুখে শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থার পুনরুদ্ধার. That means revival of the education system in the face of tough challenges due to teacher shortage. So the ratio of teachers to of this institution is 1:20. The ratio of this institution is too much. On Marita, Minara Khatun of Assistant Government of Malgarh government says due to financial difficulties, there's a lack of awareness among the parents. In the light of my discussion, I can strongly say that teachers' negligence is not the main obstacle to quality education.
Thank you, Aisha Akhtar, for your nice presentation and nice debate. Now, I would like to request Sumaya Akhtar from promotion team to come up with her speech.
A gifted teacher is not only prepared to meet the needs of today's child, but it also prepared to foresee the hopes and dreams in every child's future. Robert John Mihan. However, thank you, moderator, for giving me the floor to say something on today's topic. The motion presented here before us today is teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. Here I am Sumaya Akhtar, standing for the motion. Now I am starting my speech. Honourable moderator, my first debater has already mentioned what is teacher. Teacher isn't someone who does something, but someone who inspires her students to give of her best in order to discover what she already knows. So I can say that others can be a teacher without the teachers of educational institution. They may be our father, mother, seniors, etc., etc. A child of
birth gets primary education from his family members, like father, mother, brother, sister. Parents teach us how to interact with others, including manners, empathy, and communication skill. So family can be a best teacher of a child. Now please tell me, my opponent, if the family is unconscious, then how a child get quality education? How, my opponent? I wish you give me a logical answer. Now I would like to give an example of family unconsciousness. Honorable moderator, almost all of us know the incident that Oishi killed her own parents on 14 August 2013. After they had taken away just her mobile phone. Now please tell me, my opponent, what her teacher and parents taught her. In an article, Doinik Odhikar, published in 7 September 2013, with the heading, অভিভাবকদের অসচেতনতায় ঝরে পড়ছে শিক্ষার্থীরা. It means students are dropping out due to lack of awareness of parents. Now, listen to me, my opponent. You are talking about quality education. In Chorkapasha Government Primary School in Gaibanda, there are 45 students. And do you know who are the teacher? I think you don't know. The watchmen and the workers of the school, now the teacher. And the teachers comes once in a week to give the attendance of the students. The news was published in newsbangla24.com with the heading, Je Bidyalaya Saptaho Ekdino Pa Pore Na Shikhoker. This is the evidence. Now please tell me, my opponent, what the students will learn from the teachers? In a school at Ashulia, Sabar, for negligence of a headmaster, 205 students failed to sit for the JSC examination. This news was published in doinikshikha.com in 23 January 2019. This is the evidence. Now, if we look at Indonesia, we can see that there is a special day every year. On that day, every mothers come to school, and the students wash the feet of their mother. That's why there is no old age home in Indonesia, but there are many old age homes in our country. Now, can you guess the importance of teachers in ensuring quality education? Honorable moderator, my opponent first debater asked me a question that, how can you say teachers' negligence is the main obstacle where they can't adapt themselves with new curriculum? My opponent, take the answer. One of the important characteristics of teachers is adaptability, and they can't adapt. This is teachers' negligence. And don't you know who changed the curriculum? National professors. Aren't the teacher? So you are indirectly supporting us. Thank you for agreeing with me. Honorable moderator, my opponent first debater talked about questions paper. My opponent, I think you are an untrained debater, because my first debater has already said that teachers give the questions paper to those students who read to him in private, and by only memorizing the question answer, they execute that in the exam paper, and this is called teachers' negligence. Honorable moderator, a word of a teacher can't only mold the life of students, but also destroy the life of a student. When teacher says you can't do it, it is not possible for you, nothing will be by you, that just become frustrated. As a result, he can't do it. On the other hand, when teacher says it is possible for you, you can't do it, the students become inspired, and he can do it. Our moderator, lion have cubs only for the emotional well-being. A cow cub is physically bigger than a lion cub. It is possible for a lion cub to attract a cow cub, but it is never possible for a cow cub to attract a lion cub. It is just for the moral, because a lion cub knows he has strength like a lion. Similarly, if the teachers wants, he can awaken the true talent of the students. But who are the teachers of our country doing now? There are many teachers of our country who destroy the moral of the students in every educational institution. But if the teacher says, if you don't do it once, you should try it 100 times, then who know that he will not be a scientist like Einstein? Then who know that he will not establish the flag of Bangladesh in the heart of the world? Honorable moderator, in the light of my discussion, I can strongly say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. Thank you all.
Thank you, Shumaya Akhtar, for your nice presentation. Now I'd like to request Muhammad Omar from opposition team to come up with his debate.
A teacher is like a compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, wisdom in the pupil. But negligence is seen sometimes when they are neglected. However, here present honorable moderator, respectable judges, my dear opponents, dear listeners, and all of my well-wishers. At first, let me cordial salam, assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad Umar, and I stand before you as the second debater of opposition team to shed light on the crucial aspects surrounding the topic at hand. Teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. Now I'll break down the journalism argument into smaller part and proof. And my focus revolves around some key points that significantly contribute to this problem. First, inadequate teacher salaries. Inadequate teacher salaries are a major factor affecting the quality of education. Like our teachers are underpaid and undervalued, published on the Daily Star. Bangladeshi শিক্ষকদের বেতন মানসম্পন্ন শিক্ষার জন্য যথেষ্ট নয় by UNESCO, which shows that a significant factor contributing to the personal negligence is the financial strain on teachers. Teachers, who are the backbone of our educational system, often find themselves struggling with their inmates. In our country, teachers often face lower salaries. According to www.worldsalaries.com, the estimated total pay for a teacher in Bangladesh is only 20,000 taka per month, with an initial salary of 3 to 6 taka per month. Or Moreta, as a teacher came to teach, he must have a family, and the responsibility of that family must be upon him as he studied. To run his family, he needed a significant amount of money. But with that few amount of money, he cannot run his family. Then thought comes his mind and he can no longer pay attention to the student. So my question is to my dear opponent, without providing them proper salary, how can you say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education? Or Moreta, the second debater of my opponent team asked me a question that if a student can kill her parents, then what her parents and teachers taught her? First of all, parents and teachers don't teach a student to kill someone. Rather, they teach a student to serve someone. So it's not the fault of a teacher, not the fault of our parents. It's the fault of our mentality, it's the fault of our friends, it's the fault of our society. So please don't blame without any claim. Or Moreta, suppose a cook has been given the responsibility of cooking for an event. Everything the cook needs to make the food taste good, it all depends on the authorities. Authorities should provide all the necessary ingredients that it needed for cooking. After giving the necessary ingredients, we can expect a delicious meal from him. It is nothing but a stupidity to expect a delicious meal from him without giving the necessary ingredients. In our country, teaching materials are just like cooking materials. So it's a stupidity to expect quality education from the teachers without giving him the necessary materials. It's just like expecting a mango from an orange tree. Or Moreta, a teacher neglects in teaching only when he is incompetent in teaching. An incompetent teacher can never teach well in the class. And this is only because of limited teachers' training opportunities and unskilled teacher recruitment. There is a long-standing and ongoing debate on the most appropriate term to describe this activity, which is teachers' training, which may give the impression that the activity involves training staffs to undertake relatively routine tasks. Or Moreta, in the developed countries of the world who have the best education system like USA, Canada, Finland, their teachers get two types of teachers training. One is in-service and another is pre-service teacher training. Due to this reason, their students get proper education and become the most successful person in the world. So I think our educational system need to grow from is teacher training important to our teacher must be trained regularly. Also, the appointing of unskilled teacher is not new in Bangladesh. We have seen it in various newspapers like Doko Shikok Chara Doko Jonabal Tori Somnoy by the Daily Star, which shows that our teachers are not trained. In our country, less than 37% of the teachers are trained. So, without providing them proper training, how can you say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education? Or Moreta, the second debater of my opponent team, asked me another question that if the family is unconscious, then how can a child get quality education? First of all, my dear opponent, I think you are here out of the debate topic. Come back to the real point. Come back to what you're actually arguing about. Or Moreta, a little thought shows that they don't understand what they're actually debating about. Honorable Moderator, in light of my discussion, I can clearly say that teachers' negligence is not the main obstacle to quality education. But still, if they don't agree with us that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle of quality education, then I'm sorry to say that they're living in fool's paradise. Thank you all for listening to my speech. Pray for me. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Omar Farooq, for enlightening us with your informative speech. Now, I'd like to request Henan Akhtar to come up with her speech.
A student is like a candle and a teacher is the fire. And without the help of the fire, you can't light a candle. Likewise, without the help of a teacher, you can't light the life of a student. However, thank you, Moderator, for giving me the floor to say something about our today's topic. Our motion for the House today is teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. I'm Henan, standing for the motion. Now I'm starting my speech. Honorable Moderator, now I would like to say that teacher is not only the teachers of educational institution. They can also be our father, mother, seniors, etc., etc.
Good teachers are expected to be knowledgeable, supportive, and skilled communicators. The teaching level of our country's teacher is very poor. Poor teaching leads to decreased motivation, bad habits, and reduced confidence. In addition to affecting academic performance, poor teaching have a significant impact on student self-esteem. On Marita, now I am going to say about the passing rate of our country. In SSC exam is 93.58% every year, according to www.thetbsnews.net. And the passing rate in PSC exam is 97.59%, according to www.thefinancialexpress.com. Wow, such a great result. Now my audio opponent, let me unmark them. On Marita, in an interview on Machranga, a television in 2016, who has got GPA 5, আমি GPA 5 পেয়েছি এর ইংরেজি কি? And my dear opponent, do you know what he replied? He replied, I'm GPA 5. And this is not the end. My Marita, when another student was asked about the full form of GPA, he answered, getting point. Another student was asked about the full form of SSC, he replied, junior school certificate. If the teacher makes such type of students, then they will not make standard generation. Rather, they will make a weak and tired generation. Even Muhammad Jafar Iqbal sir said that they have not got GPA 5. Rather, they have been given GPA 5. Now my question is to you, my opponent, who taught them and who have checked their exam papers? What kind of teacher they are? Can you tell me? My audio opponent, hope you will give a logical answer. On Marita, let's see a headmistress named Fatima Khatun of 42 Nong Tarabunia Board Government Primary School at Vedarganj has made her students to do household chores. The headmistress always tried to do her homework by the learners, and a guardian complained at the office of Deputy Commissioner, and after that, Tino searched the matter for reality. Some students of class 5 said to the Tino that they have been ordered to do her homework, such as toilet cleaning, room mopping, water tank cleaning, and so on. Some students said it, now we are unwilling to go to school. On Marita, because of the teacher, some students stopped to go to school, and this is the evidence. Who will take this responsibility? Who, my opponent? Obviously the teacher. But on Marita, we all know that a teacher is called the architect of a nation. Another problem is dropping out of students. Dropout rate in primary education is 39.67% for boys and 22.8% for girls, and 18% at secondary education and 5.39% of higher education. Also, for dropping out of students, teachers are responsible. Teachers who struggle to engage the students in the learning process may contribute the dropout rates. When the students find classes uninteresting, they are more likely to lose motivation and eventually leave school. From where you got that teachers do not get training? About 4.20 lakh high school teachers are being trained up on new curriculum, but they don't use their training skills. Why they don't use their training skills? Only for negligence. Moreover, it is the age of globalization. The age of ICT. In this age, teachers can take online trainings easily. On Marita, my opponent's second debater said about teacher salary. My dear opponent, about 30 lakh people are sacrificed their lives because of patriotism. Do you think they have got salary to sacrifice their lives? We don't tell our teacher to sacrifice them. We tell them to teach the students. So I think salary is not the main obstacle. Teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Henan Akhtar. Now is the time for Sadia Akhtar from opposition team to start her debate.
Teachers, open the door, but you must enter by yourself. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, esteemed judges, respectable teachers, dear opponents, audience. At first, take my salam, assalamu alaikum. Today I stand here to debate against the topic of teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. I'm Sadia Akhtar, the third debater from opposition team. Now I'm starting my speech. Our moderator, poverty is a huge obstacle to achieve quality education in Bangladesh, which can act as a bigger obstacle than a teacher's temporary inconvenience. Our moderator, I want to show some reports. অভাবে ঝরে পড়ছে শিক্ষার্থী, that means students are dropping out because of poverty. Published on প্রথম আলো. High rate of dropouts at primary level is top challenge. published on the Daily Observer on 14 August 2023. That report said, according to the data of 2022 of the Directorate of Primary Education, there are a total number of 1,14,539 educational institutions for primary education, out of which there are only 65,566 primary schools and 28,193 kindergartens. According to the statistics of 2022, the total number of primary students are true core 5,46,091, which in 2021 was true core 90,057. According to the data of 2021, the dropout rate was 14.15%, which in 2020 was 17.20%. This rate is alarming. Maharita, poverty is the biggest factor for the increase of dropout rate of students. According to Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics 2022 survey, 18.7% people live under poverty in the country. So my question is to that, how can you ensure the quality education where the students are being dropped out because of poverty? How my opponent? I want a logic answer from you. And Maharita, my opponent third debater asked me a question that who taught them and who have checked their exam paper? What kind of teachers they are? Dear opponent, please check the answer. Dear opponent, you are judging a student by IMGPA 5, full form of GPA or SSC? Actually, Maharita, people sometimes get embarrassed or occurred when anyone asks suddenly. So that student said wrong in such a situation. Okay, my opponent, that student couldn't do the translation after passing SSC. But I'm the third debater in this group who did only in class 7. You can ask me, I will answer you properly. Even the debater between you and us today are reading in class 7, 8, 9. Highest in class 9, look at all of them. How beautifully they are speaking English. Even you also. Why are you bringing up exceptions, my opponent? Don't you know that exceptions can never be an example? Maharita, an educated society or an educated nation is formed by the combination of male and female students of a country. So if you observe a little, about 51% of the students in Bangladesh are female students. That is out of true core 15,51,691 students, about 1,991,541 are female, which is almost half of total students. Maharita, the number of female students are decreasing in the country because despite the complete ban on marriage before the age of 18 in our country, a report has revealed on 3rd May 2023 on the Business Standard magazine with the headline of Bangladesh has the highest prevalence of child marriage in South Asia, says a UNICEF report. The report also states that in Bangladesh about 51% young women were married in childhood. My dear opponent, you are repeatedly blaming the teachers for quality education, where 51% of the total girl students are getting married in childhood. And for this, they are not able to get quality education. They are also raising children. In your opinion, mother is the first teacher of a child. Then how can they ensure quality education to their children where they themselves are not that educated? Maharita, my opponent also asked me another question that teachers inside students, or for these students are dropping out. Who will take this responsibility? My opponent, please take the answer. Dear opponent, didn't your parents ever scold you, rule you, never tell you in a tone of arrogance that I don't need such a child, nothing will happen to you? After listening this, do you leave the house? I don't think so. Our Maharita teachers are like parents. They can sometimes scold us, even rule us as our parents. Our Maharita, our teachers also scold us, even rule us, and again they love us. But we never leave schools. Actually, our Maharita, the situation of those students like that, naste na chale, uthan baka. That means a bad workman quarrels with his tool. Actually, who don't feel like reading and don't read at all, they only leave school. Those who will to give something to the nation, they will never go to the Vrindavan for making monkey dance, leaving their own house. And Maharita, if you observe a little, if you observe some countries around the world who have already achieved quality education and are able to give quality education to their students, we can find that their classes fall into 3 categories. Thank you, Honorable Maharita, for giving me an opportunity. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Sadi Akhtar, for your nice presentation. Now I'd like to request Afroza Kabir to come up with her debate. Please start.
A teacher builds a nation, but if the builder is indifferent to his duties, then it becomes the main obstacle. Then the destruction of the nation is inevitable, or the nation has to live like a man without a backbone. Sorry to say, but it's a great truth that teachers' negligence is now the main obstacle to quality education. Marita, not just only for word, I can prove it with evidence. However, here Marita, whenever judges, respectable teacher, dignity spectator, and the opponents, at first take major Assalamu alaikum. The motion for the house today is teachers' negligence, the main obstacle to quality education. Here I'm Afroja standing for the motion and I'm starting my speech. Honorable Marita, we all hear the name Avrar. It's 7 October 2019. Avrar Fahad, a second student of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Department of BUIS, was tortured and killed by Buddhist students inside Buddhist Bangla Hall. And due to this incident, 20 students sentenced to death and 5 jail for life. My opponents, they all are brilliant and highly educated, but the lack of morality because of teachers' negligence, where we know that quality education is combination of morality and practical. So can't we say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education? Can't we? Hope will give me a logical answer. Marita, in 1996, a brachytherapy machine worth of tens of millions of taka was installed at Dhaka Medical College. But after 27 years of installment, the machine had been locked to one of the rooms for the most part of its life. Now it is waiting to get cut. Published in www.dhakatribune.com. So my opponents, how can I say they're suffering from lack of accessories? With the teacher not interested to learn, then how can they encourage the teacher? I hope you'll give me a logical answer. Marita, the process of improving a student handwriting begins in his or her first grade. It is the responsibility of a teacher to make his student handwriting beautiful. A teacher has to take his student handwriting regularly. Beautiful handwriting is also the way to get good marks in the examination. Marita, I'm sure a sample of SS examination due to teacher's negligence. My opponent, even in tenure, due to just a little time to teach 26 students and hold the blame for this. My opponent, obviously the teacher. My opponent, you may ask, what is the relation between quality education and handwriting? Yes, there is a relation. When this kind of student unfortunately become a doctor, their handwriting become like this. And in this article, it is written that permanent brain damage caused because of bad of a doctor. And about 25% medication will occur worldwide because of bad of a doctor. Now you may realize the relation between bad handwriting and quality education. Marita, we all hear the great inventor named Thomas Alva Edison. In his childhood, his mother got a letter from his school that he was suspended from his school. His mother told him that his teacher wasn't capable to teach him, and also said he will teach him. My opponent, because of this kind of teacher, every year millions of students are being dropped out. And my second debater has already mentioned our mother also acted as a teacher. And in this case, his mother didn't neglect him, rather she encouraged him. And the result, I think you know. Thomas Alva Edison invented 1,093 technologies, including motion camera, electric bulb, phonograph, etc., etc. My opponent, can we imagine if his mother neglected him, then how we will get 1,093 technologies? And this is called teacher's negligence. Marita, my opponent's third debater asked me a question that how can you issue quality education where many students drop out because of poverty? My opponent, do you know the kind dropout rate of Bangladesh? I think you don't, because if you know the answer, you don't ask the stupid questions. Marita, the kind dropout rate of Bangladesh at primary school is 3.1%, boys 4.0%, girls 2.3%, and at secondary school, the percentage is 4. News published in Bangladesh government UNICEF on 30 March 2023. Then my opponents, how can I say that many students are being dropped out? I hope you got your answer. And those who don't drop out, teacher neglect them. So it is totally clear that teachers neglect the main obstacle to quality education. Marita, my opponent's third debater asked me another question that how can I blame the teacher mainly when there's various kind of students in the same class? My opponent, take the answer. My opponent, do you hear the 7-month speech of Bangabandhu? I think you don't, because if you hear it, don't ask me such questions. My opponent, do you know, in this speech there were 10 lakhs people, and I don't think that they all heard him, but they fought for the independence of Bangladesh because of their speech. So why can't you blame the teacher? Can you tell me? Marita, my opponent first debater said, in 40 minutes, how can a teacher teach 50 students? My opponent, do you know, the 7-month speech of Bangladesh was just for 18 minutes? And in this 18 minutes, if Bangladesh can educate the whole nation, then why can't a teacher encourage 100 students in just 40 minutes? Isn't it enough? Because this is called teacher's negligence.
So at the end of the discussion, I can say that my opponent please agree with me and my team that teachers negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Afroza Kobir. Now, I would like to request Fathia Akhtar from opposition team to present her speech.
Education makes the people. Is it to lead but difficult to drive? Is it governed but impossible to himself? Stated by Henry Peter Broham. However, here present are the moderator, judges, my dear opponent, respectable teachers, and all of my well-wishers who are sitting in front of me. First of all, take my salam. Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic, and we are debating on teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. But I totally disagree with this topic. This is Fatih Akhtar, the fourth debater from opposition team. Now I'm starting my speech. Honorable moderator, about 60% of educational institutions in Bangladesh do not have the necessary educational materials. Teaching in class is much easier through multimedia projectors, but in our country, 22 lakh students are deprived of this facility. In our country, like those ancient time, board and dusters are still being displayed in the classroom as the teaching materials. In our country, many students don't have any idea about left. So my opponent, now my question is to you that how can a teacher provide quality education with the no teaching materials? How, my opponent? How? I want to get a logical reply from you. Honorable moderator, প্রাথমিকের 25% বই একজনের যাচ্ছে না শিক্ষার্থীর হাতে। This news was published on the Daily Star Bangla by Mohiuddin Alamgir. সময় মতো পাঠ্য বই পায়নি শিক্ষার্থীরা কেন? প্রশ্ন উঠছে মান নিয়ে। This news was published on BBC News. Honorable moderator, multimedia term. Multimedia term is a great process. According to my opinion, multimedia term is that type of term where the teaching, learning, education system all are ICT based. This is the fourth industry revolution. In this fourth industry revolution, the importance of multimedia for imparting the lesson with this multimode and multidimensional benefit is immense. The multimedia campaign has been started in 2012 by the declaration of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in 1,000 schools. The multimedia campaign has been started. Honorable moderator, the multimedia campaign has been started. Honorable moderator, the Secretary of Primary Education and Mass Education told that in 1,200 primary institutions, the multimedia classroom has established out of 6,500 primary institutions. So the number is only 18.46%. But there is no such type of holistic development is seen till today. Honorable moderator, if we compare ourselves with our neighboring country India on ICT sector, then we see according to the magazine, Bangladesh observed the column number 4 to 30 March 2022. This added about 75% students are very expert on ICT cell. Not only for the student, but also the teacher situation is also same. So my opponent, now my question is to you that how can a teacher provide quality education if they are not teaching materials with this film expert and with this film to multimedia can be able to ensure the quality education? I want to get a good reply from you. Honorable moderator, digital জ্ঞানের অভাব বাংলাদেশে বড় বাধা. This news was published on Prothom Alo by Ashraful Islam. Honorable moderator, the frequent change of education curriculum in our Bangladesh can destroy the real purpose of life and learning mentality in millions of students. This change may lead to the collapse of the faith that people still have in education. Nowadays, the student of class 6 and 7, there are a lot of assignments which are told to complete. Nowadays, the student of class 6 are taught how to become in practical life. They are taught how to make potato mash and fry egg. Actually, honorable moderator, a student can learn this by seeing gradually. So what is need? This potato mash and fry egg are mentioned in the book. Honorable moderator, this is the woman whose name is Rokeya Begum. She told that হাজার হাজার টাকা খরচ করে আমরা কি ছেলে মেয়েদের কাজের বুয়া আর হোটেল বয় বানাবো, মেয়েরা হবে কাজের বুয়া আর ছেলেরা হবে হোটেল বয়, সেটাও নাকি আবার ছবি তুলে দেখাতে হবে। That means will we make our children hotel boy and servant by spending thousand and thousand money, and will it be shown by taking photo? Honorable moderator, পরীক্ষাবিহীন পড়াশোনায় আস্থা নেই অভিভাবকদের. This news was published on jagonews24.com. নতুন কারিকুলামে পিছিয়ে পড়ছে শিক্ষার্থীরা. This news was published on Bangladesh Journal by নিজস্ব প্রতিবেদক. নতুন কারিকুলামের দুর্দশা. This news was published on দৈনিক ইত্তেফাক by Arafat Rahman. Honorable moderator, the fourth debater of my opponent team asked me a question that Abrar Fahad was killed by the student in Buet. Can we say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education? My opponent, what kind of strange question you have made? Abrar Fahad was killed by the student. He is a victim of student politics. So you cannot give this responsibility to the teacher. It seems to me like that. Kishen modde ki, panta bade ki. That means what is what, nothing is what. Or I will assume you agree with us. If so, thank you very much. Honorable moderator, my opponent asked me another question that where the teacher are not interested to learn, how can they encourage the teach or other? My opponent, take the answer. If you appoint an incompetent teacher and put him in the chair, you cannot expect
anything better from him. So you should appoint qualified teacher. In the light of my discussion, I want to say that my opponent, I hope I made you understand that teachers' negligence is not the main obstacle to quality education. But even if you say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education, the matter will like koila dhuile moila jaina. That means black will take no other hue. Thank you everyone for listening my speech. Pray for me. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Fathia Akhtar, for your nice presentation. This time, I would like to request the team leader from the motion group, Mohammad Tausif Karim, to come up with his argument.
Those who work have two hands, but those who don't work have three hands. Right hand, left hand, and ojuhat, or that is the excuse hand. Our dear opponents are saying about their excuses of teachers' negligence. Yes, when the teachers are careless, then there is no other way without giving such excuses. However, honorable moderator, respectable judges, dear listeners, and all of my well-wishers, at first take my salam, assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic we are debating on is teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. I am Tausif Karim, leader for the motion. Honorable moderator, a teacher is like a sun, and sunlight can light up the whole world. Today, we will talk about such a sun. Yes, I am saying about the Nobel laureate in Physics 2023, Anna Julia. A teacher is taking a class, and a call from Nobel committee came. It was informed that she was selected to give Nobel Prize, and her reply was, "Sorry, I am in a class, I will talk to you later." This is called teachers' dutifulness. And now, look at our teachers. When they are in a class and any call comes to them, they talk. They talk different familiar conversation. They say, what should I bring, how much oil are needed, how much rice are needed, etc., etc. This is called teachers' negligence. And for such negligence, we can't ensure quality education. To ensure quality education, practical knowledge is very important. And to ensure that, qualified teachers are required. But in our country, about 30% of teachers don't have any practical knowledge of their own. And for this reason, every year, 60% of students complete their school and college life without any practical knowledge. Who is to blame for this, my opponent? Obviously the teachers. They can't dismiss their liabilities here. Moreover, in science subjects of secondary classes, there are 25 marks in the practical part out of 100 marks. But our teachers don't know how to evaluate that part. They give mark according to their wish. Even they charge 500 to 2000 taka to give mark. When a teacher can take money to give mark, then what will a student learn from him? As such the situation of our teachers, what will he teach to our students? According to World Bank, what an 11-year-old child learns in our country, that should be learned in 4.5 of a year in international system. But in our country, our teachers are failed to give that minimum education. Do you know, my opponent, about 60% of students of primary school don't know how to read Bangla, and the situation of English, mathematics is worse than that. In the former director of Dhaka University Education and Research Department, Dr. Siddiqur Rahman said, our teachers are failed to be creative in last 15 years. How will they make their students creative? And for that, we want to say that our students are deprived of quality education only for such teachers. Moreover, about 38% of our country's teachers are dependent on guidebooks. How will they ensure quality education? In the admission test of Dhaka University, 2016-17 session, almost 90% of the admission seekers failed to get the minimum mark to be in consideration. Moreover, in 2014, only 3 students passed in English division. But almost all the admission seekers are GPA 5 holder in SSC and HSC exam. That proves that in our country, the passing rate is increasing. The GPA 5 rate is increasing. But the quality of education is going to be extinct. Moreover, the teachers give only the bookish knowledge, don't give the basic knowledge. What they learn through this year's my opponent. And the more important question is how they get GPA 5 in SSC and HSC exams. I think it is teachers' negligence. If you know any alternative answer, please tell. Moreover, my fourth opponent asked me a question, how can you ensure quality education without education material and lack of accessories? But from where you will get that? But according to Education Ministry, from 2012 to 2015, about 300 crore taka worth laptop and multimedia projector was supplied to 23,331 school, colleges, madrasas. But in the report in 2018 of Planning Ministry, about 97% of that materials are going to be scrapped. This report says we have accessories, but there is no one to use them. Our teachers have no skill to use that. Moreover, my third opponent said we can speak in English so fluently. But I think it is our teachers' negligence because our teachers don't neglect us. Our teachers sitting before us don't neglect us. It is our teachers' dutifulness for which we can speak so fluently. And it indirectly proves that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. At last, I strongly believe that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education.
Thank you very much, Taushib Karim, for your nice presentation. Now I'd like to request the Leader of Opposition, Afrin Jui, to present her speech.
Education is the harmonious development of body, mind, and soul, stated by John Milton. However, thank you to Marita for giving me the floor to say something at today's debate. The motion for the House today is teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education. I'm Afrin Jui, the leader against the motion. Honorable Marita, library. A very, very important thing for ensuring quality education. Pramod Chaudhary said in his article named Boipora that the importance of library is not less than that of hospital. That means people get their physical treatment in hospitals, whether they get their mental treatment in libraries. A country achieves quality education only when its libraries are flourishing. But unfortunately, Bangladesh has only 71 public libraries for 160 million people. That means one public library for every 2.2 million people. News collected from Dhaka Tribune. Honorable Moderator, maximum 10% education institutions in Bangladesh have libraries, whether the remaining 90% have no libraries. Even if there are some libraries, either they are not enriched or neglected. In this regard, I want to show some proof. Like Bangladesh জ্ঞান সূচকে কেন তো পেছনে বিশেষজ্ঞরা দায়ী করছেন গ্রন্থাগারের অভাবকে, পাবলিশড অন BBC নিউজ। অযোধ্যা হলে 165 বছরের পুরনো পাবলিক লাইব্রেরি, পাবলিশড অন দৈনিক ইত্তেফাক। গ্রন্থাগারের প্রতি এমন উদাসীনতা কেন, পাবলিশড অন প্রথম আলো। My opponent's situation seems like that. মাথা নেই তার আবার মাথা ব্যথা. I mean to say, a beggar can never be a bankrupt. They are thinking of quality education without library. How stupid. My opponent, if there is no enriched library in education institution, then how can you impart quality education to the student? And how can you say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education? Hope you'll give me a logical answer. Honorable Moderator, my opponent leader asked me a question that why and how that GPA 5 gainers don't get chance in universities. Okay, now take the answer. My opponents, you are talking about the results of Dhaka University, right? You are showing the statistics of only 1 year result. But if you look at the result of last 20 years, 30 years, 80 years, even 100 years, they are not failing at that rate every year. It is true that they have failed, but it's just because of the new syllabus. They can't adapt themselves with this new syllabus, that's why they have failed. So please, don't judge the whole teacher community with just 1 year result. Hope you have got the answer. Honorable Moderator, a news was published on 5th October 2021 with the heading, non-government teachers are victims of discrimination. Here, it is said that non-government teachers are subjected to severe discriminations, including salary, status, promotion, retirement benefits, etc. etc. In this regard, I want to show some newspaper headings like বৈষম্যে আটকা শিক্ষকদের বেতন ও সুযোগ সুবিধা, পাবলিশড অন দ্য ডেইলি ক্যাম্পাস। বেসরকারি শিক্ষকদের বেতন বৈষম্য আর কতদিন, পাবলিশড অন ভোরের আকাশ। শিক্ষকদের সুযোগ সুবিধার সব ধার বন্ধ রেখে স্মার্ট বাংলাদেশ কিভাবে সম্ভব, পাবলিশড অন প্রথম আলো। Honorable Moderator, because of the discrimination today, teachers are terribly disturbed. My opponent, how can you expect a plain level service from the teachers without giving them equal opportunities? Hope you'll give me a logical answer. Honorable Moderator, drug, a terrible death trap through which common people, also including the students, I mean the future of a nation, are ruined. Today, students are addicted to drug, they are postponing education and embracing destruction. In this regard, I want to show some proof. মাদকসেবী শিক্ষার্থীর হার বেড়েছে, পাবলিশড অন প্রথম আলো। বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় শিক্ষার্থীদের মধ্যে মাদকের আশঙ্কাজনক বিস্তার, পাবলিশড অন শেয়ারপিস। মাদকাসক্তির সিংহভাগী শিক্ষার্থী, পাবলিশড অন ভোরের আকাশ। উচ্চ শিক্ষার্থীদের মধ্যে বাড়ছে মাদকাসক্তি, পাবলিশড অন দৈনিক ইত্তেফাক। My opponent, how can you say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle where these drugs are knocking at the door to kill the student community? Hope you'll give me a logical answer. Honorable Moderator, brain drain, another alarming thing for the quality education. Today, students are leaving the country for not getting enough facilities. In this regard, I want to show some evidence. বছরে মেধা পাচার 60% বঞ্চিত দেশ, পাবলিশড অন বাংলা নিউজ 24। মেধার অবমূল্যায়ন থেকেই মেধা পাচার, পাবলিশড অন দৈনিক ইত্তেফাক। মেধা পাচার শিক্ষার অগ্রগতির পথে বড় অন্তরায়, পাবলিশড অন প্রথম আলো। My opponents, because of this brain drain, we are losing those talents. Which talents could be next Einstein? We are losing those talents. Which talents could be next Newton? We are losing those talents. Which talents could be next Bangabandhu? Then how can you say that teachers' negligence is the main obstacle to quality education? Hope you'll give me a logical answer. Honorable Moderator, student politics, another alarming thing for quality education. In this regard, I want to show some newspaper heading. ছাত্র রাজনীতি বন্ধ করা উচিত, পাবলিশড অন প্রথম আলো। বারবার আবরার বন্ধ হোক ছাত্র রাজনীতির অপধারা, পাবলিশড অন বিডি নিউজ 24। বিদ্যালয় নিরাপদ পরিবেশ চাই, পাবলিশড অন দৈনিক আজাদি। And this safe environment didn't get Abrafa, that's why he was being killed by his own classmates. So Honorable Moderator, in the light of my discussion, I can strongly say that teachers' negligence is not the main obstacle to quality education. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Afrin Joy. So we have finished one part of our debate. As I told you that I was finding it difficult to sifting out from good to better one to the best one. But again, as practically we have to do it in this way that someone has to be declared the best speaker, best debater. I'm sorry for that I have to select someone, but everyone was okay. Everyone was very fiercely fighting in terms of your arguments, in terms of your language. So the best debater is Afrin Joy. Team leader from opposition team, and also the champion team is the opposition team. I again regret we, the judges, again
যদি লক্ষ্য থাকে অটুট বিশ্বাস হৃদয়ে হবেই হবেই দেখা দেখা হবে বিজয়ে
যদি লক্ষ্য থাকে অটুট বিশ্বাস হৃদয়ে হবে হবে দেখা দেখা হবে বিজয়ে
কর্ণফুলী যমুনা তোমার আছে সবুজের মাঝে লাল